The billionaire class is sometimes referred to as sort of citizens of everywhere, right? They're global citizens. They globetrot from homes in the United States and Europe and the islands, but that's also where their money ends up going as well. It used to be that the richest guy in your community was, investing only in your community. But today, when we pad the pockets of the uber wealthy, that money either does not get spent or it ultimately gets delivered to investments that flow into economies all over the world. These tax cuts don't end up back in America. To the extent the money gets spent anywhere, it gets spent in international index funds. So the theory of the case, which has always been cover for simply delivering more and more excessive resources to the very, very wealthy, has never worked. But it works even less now when in a global international economy, the very, very wealthy have options to invest in the United States or often for higher returns, investing somewhere else.
And it looks to me, if I could reclaim my time for a moment and ask you another question, it looks to me a bit like as they're destroying Medicaid, which, as you pointed out, serves a quarter of American households, and is essential in those households because it's granny's nursing home care, it's your sister's or wife's childbirth delivery in the hospital, or it's your colleague or friend or family member's opioid recovery treatment, swept away for unnecessary and unfair tax cuts to billionaires and big corporations. But then you move just beyond this immediate budget bill and you look over at Elon Musk and his little muskrats are doing to Social Security. And what they're saying about Social Security, and it looks like not only do they want to gut Medicaid through this budget reconciliation bill, but they also are trying to wreck the administration and operations of Social Security, trying to clear out the workforce that makes it work, sending their creeps in to probe into the data systems that support it. Who knows what damage has been done to the data systems or what extraction of data has been done? We don't know. They've never answered questions. They lie and say it's a Ponzi scheme. They refer to it as riddled with fraud when there's almost no fraud at all, 1% at best. So they're trying to discredit Social Security. They're trying to undermine its operations, and they're talking about an interruption in benefits. In fact, talking kindly about an interruption in benefits with the Secretary of Commerce saying, if we had an interruption in benefits, my mother, who is a Social Security recipient, wouldn't even notice. Well, yeah, she's living in her billionaire son's house. Of course she wouldn't notice, duh. But the people who would complain about losing their check, that's probably fraudsters. And so it would actually be beneficial to have an interruption benefits because that's how we could root out some of the fraud, like there is fraud. Again, feeding the lie that there is fraud. What conclusions do you reach when you see this pattern of activity targeting Social Security, even if an attack on it is not in this bill per se?
I